Hey guys, Dadtries, and today I have Path of Exile 2. So Path of Exile is kind of a unique one. Right now, if you want to get in and play early access, it's going to be $30. Nothing you can really do about that. That's the price, unless you want to wait 6 months, and then it will be a free-to-play. Now, currently at the time of recording, I have just about 30 hours into the game. I have not yet beat the campaign on its initial difficulty, but I wanted to get this out there in case there was interest for the game. It has been pretty popular amongst my group of friends. I'm sure it's popular out there for a lot of folks. So I wanted to get this out so that you could see my perspective on the game. And let's jump right into it. I'm going to start switching over here to some Steam Deck footage. I think what you'll notice is it does run. The Steam Deck will run it. The controllers, don't make fun of me. I have not played this much with the controller at all. I really haven't played it much on the Steam Deck, so if it looks like I'm aiming with my feet, it's because I may as well be. So it does play. It doesn't look great. You're going to get frame drops down to 10, 15 frames, and it is what it is. Hopefully they optimize it and Vulkan runs a little bit better in the future, but right now, if you're planning to play it primarily on the Steam Deck, don't. Just wait, or I'm sorry, it's not for you if that's all you've got is a Steam Deck. Technically, yes, it's going to run, but I wouldn't recommend it. On PC, however, mouse and keyboard, the gameplay is really good. It's kind of the Diablo style action RPG meets I guess kind of the Souls-like games for a couple reasons. The first one is you roll around to dodge, and I mean, I think pretty much any game where you push space and roll around, people are gonna call it a Souls-like. I'm sorry. And then the other reason it's kind of a Souls-like is you'll be playing, everything will be happy. You'll be thinking, man, this game is really fun. You're getting into a rhythm, and then all of a sudden something just stomps you out of existence, and you got to start over. So that's kind of why I would consider it a Souls-like meets a Diablo-style action RPG, because it will humble you from time to time, but I think it's a good balance. I think it's a good thing. It has the right amount of difficulty. It doesn't feel like you're just walking through the campaign and just trying to get to the end game or rushing through the campaign to get to the end game. The campaign is challenging in itself and rewarding enough. Which is going to bring me into the next thing I really enjoy about the game is the loot style. It mimics the Diablo 2 style loot, and in my opinion, it's the last Diablo game that got it right. So the drops are random. You can be playing a ranger and you could get a drop that's clearly geared towards a sorcerer. And I think that's a good thing. I like to be able to farm loot for my entire account, not just the character that I happen to be playing at the given time. And it brings some more value. I mean, I get pretty excited if I find a piece of gear that I know my friend's going to be able to use. It's fun to just slap him in the face with a new helmet and say, here, put this on. So in Path of Exile, your skills are a little different than most other action RPGs. It's not necessarily the class that you've chosen and you get different skills depending on the level that you're at. It's more about the weapon that you're using and the skills you'd like to use with that weapon. And there are some drops that play along with it. You have to get the right level drops to get the right level skills. Aside from that, when you're leveling up, you have a passive skill tree, and it's massive. I mean, it's very big. And I mean, you can pretty much do whatever. If you want to be a bow-wielding sorcerer, by all means, you can make that happen. It might not be super effective, but you can do it. Which is another reason why I really like the game, because I'm not following a build. I'm playing a ranger, and I'm using lightning, and that's pretty much my strategy, and it's been working. I didn't look up any guides. I just started playing a ranger. I knew that I wanted to shoot a bow because the group of people that I was going to play with did not have an archer in their midst, so I said, fine, I'll shoot a bow. I'll hang back. Aside from that, it's just kind of how it worked out, and I'm having a lot of fun with the build, and it's working. So why change it? I'm having fun. So if it's not min-maxy enough for you, I'm sorry. One of the other really nice parts about the game is that it's going to scale you up or down depending on the group that you're playing with and the area that you're playing in. So for example, when I first started, my friends were able to come down as like level 20 characters and play with me as a level 5 or 6 character, and it scaled them down or changed the difficulty. I don't know exactly what the formula is, and they'll probably never tell us, which is fine. But it was fun for everybody. It wasn't like I was being speed run through the game. Everybody still had to contribute, and it was still dangerous for everybody. Very well done. Not a lot of games that get that super right, but I think Path of Exile 2 nailed it here, so well done there. For as much praise as I've given the game, it's not without its issues. So first of all, the skill gems and the support gems can be a little bit confusing at first if you're not familiar with it, but you'll get past that, I promise. Sometimes finding where you want to go can be a little bit confusing. I had a quest, and it said, find Keth beneath the sands. And my Diablo 2 brain would not let me move on until I found Keth, because I felt like I was looking for like the lost city underneath the far oasis or something, and I wouldn't go to the next area because I was still looking for like some trap door to the maggot lair or something. I don't know, but my brain would not let me leave the area. I had explored all of it, but in reality, I had to go on to the next area, and then the mission objective did update, but it really didn't have anything to do with the next area. It's just something completely arbitrarily titled that I had to go to progress the quest, but it really, nothing ever said you need to go into this next area. It kind of gives you like a broad overview of this is what you're looking for, and good luck. So just keep that in mind as you're adventuring around. It's not always going to be as straightforward as go get the Herodric Cube from the Halls of the Dead level 2. You're going to have to do a little bit of exploring and then just check to see if your quest tip has updated. I'm sorry I'm making so many connections to Diablo 2, but this game feels so much like Diablo 2, and Brevik was one of the advisors to the original game. I don't know if he advised the crew on the second game or not, but D2 is my favorite game ever. And this just has so many similarities. I mean, look, I'm fighting claw vipers here. Act 2's a desert. Act 3's a jungle. I mean, look, I'm fighting some carvers here. I mean, there's so many nods to Diablo 2 that it's hard not to make that comparison. There are a couple gameplay issues as well. For example, my character is kind of mobile, so I have a couple abilities that let me jump in, jump out, and obviously roll around. Some of the maps that are a little more segmented and kind of snaky, I get hung up on the walls, and so you just kind of like stop your flip mid-flip and then fall where you are, and it's weird. Some of the enemies are a little too tall, and so you get kind of stuck on them. That kind of makes sense. It just doesn't look great right now when it happens. And also there's some abilities and effects that happen on the ground that still affect you even if you are currently like flipping through the air. So there's some work to be done there. It's not perfect yet, but again, it's early access. And the one part about the game that drives me absolutely crazy, and I'm sure you've even noticed it from watching this video if you've gotten this far, is it has some stuttering network latency spikes and some weird frame drops. Now, I don't believe it's on my side. Now, my PC, I have an AMD, it's a Ryzen 7 7700X, and I'm running a 4080 Super. I have turned the graphics down just to see if maybe it was my PC not being able to do it, but even on lowest settings, it's still happening. So I really think it's a server side issue. Let me know in the comments. I'm actually really curious to know if anybody else is having these issues and what you've done to fix it. I have tweaked the settings. I seem to be, for a while, I was kind of stuck at like 72 frames, no more, no less, really. But since playing with some settings, I've been able to get it up to like 120 frames pretty steadily in there. So there's definitely some optimization, some performance issues that they need to take care of. I'm really wondering if maybe it's server side. I play a lot with the debugging mode on, not necessarily debugging, but the statistics mode on, which you'll see in the top of the screen. So you'll actually be able to see the network latency spike all the way up. Actually, I mean, you're going to see just about everything spike during that time. So it could even be some delay in loading those shaders. Either way, I'm not playing in 4K. I'm playing in 2K. So I would like to see a little bit more performance out of the game. I don't think it's my side. I don't have the issue in other games, and I still have the issue with everything turned down. And even my Steam Deck was doing it. I mean, that's not saying much, but it's the same issue on the Steam Deck, and it seems to happen when you get to the edge of the zone. So like when it's trying to load the next zone, not necessarily when there's a lot of enemies, just when you're moving around the map. So let me know in the comments if you've seen that issue, if you have a fix for it, if you've done anything that even helps. I'd love to know. Overall, great game. I have gotten my $1 per hour's worth of entertainment, and I'm nowhere near done playing this one. I'll be playing it for a while, so it's got my official thumbs up at the $30 price point. And 6 months from now, it's going to be free. So if you're interested and you don't want to spend the money, just wait. It'll be free. I'm sure they'll work out a lot of the bugs. But if you want to jump in right now and start playing because it's the coolest thing you've seen since Diablo 2, then $30 and you have plenty of entertainment. I promise. Really appreciate you taking the time to watch this video and interacting with me. Seriously, leave me a comment. I would love to hear from you. And if you thought the video was helpful, give me a thumbs up. It keeps me going. I really have a good time making these videos and interacting with everybody here. So seriously, thank you and have a great rest of your day.